first time, if ever, you felt represented on screen?
Ooh, great question. I think the first time, possibly the only time, in my childhood at least, was when Christy Yamaguchi was a celebrated, she's still celebrated, ice skater. She's in my speech tonight because there was no one else. When I grew up on Maui, like there just wasn't anybody in the mainstream. So
Then we had to wait for Michelle Kwan to show up.
yeah, exactly. And it was a few years.
The first time I ever felt represented on screen, well, that was when I was a little girl watching Moana and I heard Lea Salonga's beautiful voice singing the theme song. But aside from that, I think High School Musical, when really, truly, Vanessa Hudgens, I mean, even though like there's some issues sometimes with her representation and everything, I think she did what she needed to do during the time, and I'm forever grateful that she kind of started that movement.
Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. Love to see just half, he's a quarter white as well, so he's a Hapa in itself, and then Brandon Lee in The Crow. And then after that, it's been many, many years since I've seen representation. So now to see so many Hapa stars, as well as monoethnic Asian Americans just taking over Hollywood, it's beautiful. The fastest growing market in Hollywood, in the entertainment industry alone.
Wow. So this is going to be a little crazy, but I grew up in an era where there really wasn't any kind of positive representation. But I remember when I was growing up, the first time I actually saw on screen just anything that was Asian that sort of stuck in my mind. Me and my sister, when we watched TV, there was this one advertisement, this one commercial, right, for a laundry detergent called Calgon. And it had an Asian couple who owned a laundromat because, of course, right? But they had no accent. Exactly. Well, they had no accent, right? It's like a Chinese-American couple running this laundromat. And this white woman comes up and says, "Oh my gosh, how do you get these clothes so clean?" And the man's like, "Ancient Chinese secret." And then the lady, his Asian wife, kind of leans out from the background and says, "Honey, we need more Calgon." The white lady says, "Ancient Chinese secret, huh?" Right? And we used to actually use that line all the time. Every time our parents told us to do anything, we're like, "Ancient Chinese secret, huh?" And so for us anyway, even those little snippets of representation, those are the things that actually stuck in our minds.
The first time I felt represented on screen was probably when I was younger in my teens and I watched The Last Emperor. And I saw a bunch of Asian people in my own culture and my own history being presented on screen, and it blew me away. And Joan Chen is here tonight, and I'm just gonna geek out so hard.
I think it was Goonies, Data. Okay. I was like, wow, we got an Asian on screen. Yeah.
And now he has an Oscar.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's such a beautiful question. And I love this one because for me, it takes me back to 1993, Michael Jackson's Black or White music video. That was the very first time that I actually saw an Indian classical dancer. And it was an Odissi dancer that danced with him out on the streets. And after I saw that music video, I told my mom that I wanted to dance like that. And the very first dance class I was ever taken to was Odissi dance. And now I'm a professional Indian classical dancer. And it's because I saw an Indian dancer for the first time because of Michael Jackson.
That's really tricky because I feel like our representation is still kind of lacking.
That's why it's a question.
That's a good point. I feel like Star Trek got close, especially when they just represented instead of making it a big deal. But I would actually like to see more. So actually, I'm very proud then of what X-Men 97 is doing because we're trying to push that more. Yeah.
The most amazing time actually was doing Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so when I went in, I walked the red carpet for that, seeing an entire show that was top of the line for Netflix. It was actually a gold carpet, being able to play a main character in the show and being able to walk among a group of young Asian American kids who absolutely killed it in the show. That was the tip-top moment.
Growing up, who was your favorite fictional character?
Oh my God. I would say my young favorite fictional character was Anne of Anne and Green Gables, yes, the Lucy Montgomery novel. As I grew, oh wow, this is also in my speech. Great. I'm just okay. Yeah, right.
I didn't see your speech already.
Also, it's handwritten and a mess, so maybe this is good. But as I grew older, I only read historical romance novels. So any girl with a calico dress, vaguely distressed and windswept, she was my favorite.
Obviously, Anne of Green Gables has been adapted a lot. Shogun, one of my favorite adaptations. What was the sort of catalyst for, or sorry, what was the biggest change from the first version that you all were like entertaining of it to the version we saw on screen? Because, you know, you do have to modernize it even though it's a period piece.
True. Truthfully, we hadn't seen the first version until we saw a couple of. Yeah. We just read the book. We never saw the miniseries. But I know that the primary change is that everything is there's Japanese, spoken Japanese. Yeah, and a lot of subtitling. So obviously that lends itself to more of the Japanese experience than I think it does without it. So.